that cares about the same things that I do. I work in the environment team at Bell, and I'm excited to build the electric vehicle fleet. You can drive it with only one pedal. How cool is that?
When we think about sport and food, we often only think about nutrition. But it's more than that. It's our way to connect with loved ones after being on the road, or spending countless hours training to be our best. Our way to show someone we care about them, and to care for ourselves. It's more than just food, it's fuel. Chicken Farmers of Canada, proudly supporting Canadian swimmers since 2013.
This past year has been challenging for all Canadians, and swimmers are no exception. As hot weather and outdoor swimming surrounds us and pool facilities reopen across the country, it's time to return to the activity that you love and keep swimming. Not only is swimming a proven safe activity during COVID-19, it provides all Canadians safety in and around water, but also improves mental health, builds confidence, overall fitness, creates lifelong friendships, and fun. It's time to return to swimming and return to the sport you love. Your teammates and friends are waiting. Why not you? Check with your local swim club for all the details in your area. Visit whynot.swimming.ca.
Qu'est-ce qui rend la natation de compétition unique? Elle peut être pratiquée aussi bien en solo qu'en équipe, dès le plus jeune âge et ce, jusqu'à l'âge d'or. La natation est non seulement une activité sûre du point de vue de la COVID-19, mais en vous inscrivant à un club de natation, elle vous permet de créer des amitiés et des souvenirs durables tout en gardant la forme. La natation enseigne la gestion du temps, le travail d'équipe. Elle favorise l'inclusion, fait travailler tout le corps et offre la possibilité de voyager et de participer à des compétitions dans votre province et dans tout le pays. Il est temps de vous joindre à l'un des 400 clubs de natation du Canada. Vos nouveaux coéquipières et amis vous attendent. Pourquoi pas vous? Renseignez-vous auprès de votre club de natation local pour connaître tous les détails. Visitez pourquoipas.natation.ca.
Master Swimming is a welcoming environment for anyone over the age of 18 looking to retain fitness or improve skills with instruction from a professional coach. Not only is it a proven safe activity during COVID-19, Master Swimming allows adults to enjoy the sport in a social environment with variety, as every workout is different and every skill level is accepted. It engages the whole body, low-impact exercise for people with injuries, arthritis, and other conditions, improves sleep. It's accessible and affordable. It's time to join Master Swimming. Your new teammates and friends are waiting. Why not you? Check with your local club for all the details in your area. Visit whynot.swimming.ca.
J'adore la nature, j'adore le plein air. Je suis contente de travailler pour une compagnie qui partage les mêmes valeurs que moi. Je travaille dans l'équipe environnement chez Bell et je suis fière d'avoir contribué au développement de la flotte de véhicules électriques. La première fois que j'ai vu le véhicule électrique, j'ai trouvé qu'elle était mignonne et j'avais hâte de la conduire.
Faites le grand saut. Sortez de la piscine et plongez dans un lac, une rivière ou un océan et profitez des bienfaits de la natation dans une eau plus froide, au grand air et au soleil. La natation est non seulement une activité sûre du point de vue de la COVID-19, mais la natation de distance et d'eau libre permet d'acquérir de l'endurance, d'apprendre des stratégies, des tactiques et des compétences mentales tout en offrant un entraînement complet. Elle offre de nombreux bienfaits pour la santé, notamment une augmentation du niveau d'énergie, un renforcement du système immunitaire, une meilleure circulation, une augmentation du métabolisme et favorise la guérison de blessures et de douleurs articulaires. Il est temps de vous mettre à la natation de distance et d'eau libre. Cette liberté est contagieuse, amusante et conviviale. Vos nouveaux coéquipiers, coéquipières et amis vous attendent. Pourquoi pas vous? Contactez votre club local pour connaître tous les détails. Visitez pourquoipas.natation.ca.
What makes the sport of competitive swimming unique? It can be done both solo and as part of a team, starting from a young age that can carry on through your golden years. Not only is swimming a proven, safe activity during COVID-19, joining a swim club creates lifelong friendships and lasting memories while keeping you healthy and fit. Swimming teaches time management, teamwork, supports inclusiveness, a full-body workout, and an opportunity to travel and compete at swim meets throughout your province and across the country. It's time to join one of 400 swim clubs across the country. Your new teammates and friends are waiting. Why not you? Check with your local swim club for all the details in your area. Visit whynot.swimming.ca.
J'adore la nature, j'adore le plein air. Je suis contente de travailler pour une compagnie qui partage les mêmes valeurs que moi. Je travaille dans l'équipe environnement chez Bell et je suis fière d'avoir contribué au développement de la flotte de véhicules électriques. La première fois que j'ai vu le véhicule électrique, j'ai trouvé qu'elle était mignonne et j'avais hâte de la conduire.
Lorsque nous pensons au sport et à la nourriture, nous pensons souvent qu'à la nutrition. Mais c'est plus que cela. C'est notre façon de nous connecter avec nos proches après nos déplacements. De nous entraîner de nombreuses heures pour devenir meilleurs. Notre façon de montrer à une personne que nous nous soucions d'elle et prendre soin de nous. C'est plus que de la simple nourriture. C'est une source d'énergie. Les producteurs de poulets du Canada alimentent fièrement les nageurs canadiens depuis 2013.
La dernière année a été difficile pour toute la population canadienne et les nageurs et nageuses ne font pas exception. Alors que le temps chaud et la baignade en plein air sont au rendez-vous et que les piscines rouvrent leurs portes dans tout le pays, il est temps de revenir à l'activité que vous aimez. La natation est non seulement une activité sûre du point de vue de la COVID-19, mais elle permet à toute la population canadienne d'être en sécurité dans l'eau et autour de l'eau. Elle améliore également la santé mentale, la confiance en soi, la forme physique générale et elle permet de tisser des liens pour la vie et d'avoir du plaisir. Il est temps de revenir à la piscine. Vos coéquipiers, coéquipières et amis vous attendent. Pourquoi pas vous? Renseignez-vous auprès de votre club de natation local pour connaître tous les détails. Visitez pourquoipas.natation.ca.
Lorsque nous pensons au sport et à la nourriture, nous pensons souvent qu'à la nutrition. Mais c'est plus que cela. C'est notre façon de nous connecter avec nos proches après nos déplacements. De nous entraîner de nombreuses heures pour devenir meilleurs. Notre façon de montrer à une personne que nous nous soucions d'elle et prendre soin de nous. C'est plus que de la simple nourriture. C'est une source d'énergie. Les producteurs de poulet du Canada alimentent fièrement les nageurs canadiens depuis 2013.
La natation chez les maîtres offre un environnement accueillant pour toute personne âgée de plus de 18 ans qui cherche à se maintenir en forme ou améliorer ses compétences grâce à l'encadrement d'un entraîneur professionnel. La natation est non seulement une activité sûre du point de vue de la COVID-19, la natation chez les maîtres propose une pratique dans un environnement social et varié, car chaque séance d'entraînement est différente et chaque niveau de compétence est accepté. Cette activité fait travailler l'ensemble du corps. Elle constitue un exercice à faible impact pour les personnes souffrant de blessures, d'arthrite ou d'autres maladies. Elle améliore le sommeil, en plus d'être accessible et abordable. Il est temps de vous joindre aux maîtres. Vos nouveaux coéquipiers, coéquipières et amis vous attendent. Pourquoi pas vous? Contactez votre club local pour connaître tous les détails. Visitez pourquoipas.natation.ca.
J'adore la nature, j'adore le plein air. Je suis contente de travailler pour une compagnie qui partage les mêmes valeurs que moi. Je travaille dans l'équipe environnement chez Bell et je suis fière d'avoir contribué au développement de la flotte de véhicules électriques. La première fois que j'ai vu le véhicule électrique, j'ai trouvé qu'elle était mignonne et j'avais hâte de la conduire. I love nature, I love the outdoors. I love that I work for a company that cares about the same things that I do. I work in the environment team at Bell and I'm excited to build the electric vehicle fleet. You can drive it with only one pedal. How cool is that?
The 2022 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials is brought to you by... Les essais canadiens de natation Bell 2022 vous sont présentés par Bell for Better and all the ways it gives back to communities and sport across Canada. Mieux pour tous et toutes les façons dont Bell redonne aux communautés et au sport dans tout le Canada. Chicken Farmers of Canada, proud supporter and official protein of Swimming Canada. Les producteurs de poulet du Canada, fiers partisans et protéines officielles de Natation Canada. Mirtha Pools Canada, proud national sponsor supporting aquatic dreams everywhere. Mirtha Pool Canada, fier commanditaire national qui soutient les rêves aquatiques partout dans le monde. Avis, from freestyle in the pool to freedom on the road. Avis, de la nage libre dans la piscine à la liberté.
And welcome, everybody. This is day one finals here at the 2022 Canadian Swimming Trials. With me is the National Director and High Performance Coach of Canada, Mr. John Atkinson.
Hey, good evening.
So this is the first trials event that we really had, a full-blown trial, so to speak, in 3 years. It's kind of a special event to be back here in Victoria.
It's fantastic to be back. I mean, when you look at what happened in 2020 and then the restrictions of 2021, to have all our national team athletes here trying out for this year's events is fantastic from both the Olympic and Paralympic program.
And speaking of 2020 and 2021, it was a pretty straightforward year. There were no real issues to speak of course, but Canada managed to have a fantastic Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, tying the medal count back from 2016.
They did, and you have to look at the resiliency and how well those athletes did. The coaches, the clubs, the high performance centres, everybody found a way to be in Tokyo in 21 and get on the podium 6 times. making it the best back-to-back games, I think, for Canada when you look back through the record books.
It's been an awful long time and an awful long time coming. And not only were the Olympic Games fantastic, that led into the best World Short Course Championships that Canada has ever had.
It certainly did, and the athletes again finished the year off in style in Abu Dhabi, and through day 5 we were tying the lead on the medal table. And you know, when we look at that and we come away second on total medals to the US, that was a fantastic way to finish 2021, and we'll see how well they bounce forward into 2022 on the back of that.
Right on, a pretty exciting 2021. Now we jump forward to 2022, the Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. We have World Championships, Commonwealth Games, we have the Para World Championships, as well as the Junior Pan Pacific Championships. An awful lot of selection going on here. A lot of work for everybody, calculating all those points and all those qualifications for teams.
Certainly is, and you know, it starts tonight. We'll get our notebooks out, we'll dust our pens down, and we'll start penciling people in, ready to go to the selectors on the final night when the finals have concluded. But we're thrilled to be at the World Championships in Budapest. I think it's fantastic for the sport and for the athletes in Canada to have that. Commonwealth Games is always something special. It's a games environment. And really, what I'm really looking forward to is where our juniors are. Mm-hmm. We've not had an opportunity to see a junior team race since 2019. So there's going to be some new names step up, and there's going to be a lot of people that may be surprised, but we've got an idea of who some of them are.
Sure, and we saw those swims this morning. We talked a little bit about that, Sarah and I, a little bit later, but those juniors coming through, talk about resiliency. You know, with our senior team, in a way, was taken care of. They had the Olympic Games, they had the trials, but a lot of these juniors, for them, this is the first time that they've been to this meet ever, really, because they were 13 and 14 years old the last time we had a junior selection meet.
Absolutely, and when I'm looking at the start sheet and all of a sudden you're looking at born 2007,
yeah,
you realize you've missed a couple of years, and you
yes,
think, oh, there's a young one, I'll circle that name. And you know, 4 years ago, it was Summer McIntosh was a name that we were circling. So you kind of never stop that conveyor belt of the new talent coming through, both on the Olympic and on the Paralympic program.
Excellent. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. Day 1 finals is going to be an absolute blast here at the Saanich Commonwealth Place in Victoria, BC. Join us in just a few minutes for the 2022 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 2022 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. My name is Jason Pratt. With me, 2012 Paralympian Sarah Mayo.
Hi, Jason. We're very excited for this first night of finals.
It's the first night, not only is the first night of finals, it's the first night of finals in really 3 years for an event like this to be happening here in Victoria. And not only 3 years since we've had a trials, 5 years since it's been in Victoria. A fantastic pool, isn't it?
Absolutely. We've seen some fast swimming this morning already, so I think the swimmers are ready to show how fast they are, how hard they've been training in the last few years, and they're just excited to show us what they can do.
And you're right, we did have some great swims this morning. And let's talk about first the para races. And we had the 50-meter breaststroke, and we had somebody, correct me if I'm wrong, that was already underneath that MQS.
Absolutely. Nikita Hens in the SB2 women's category swam under the minimum qualifying standard in the 50 breaststroke. So it's already done for her, but she can only get better tonight. And
right. I mean, that will be very exciting. Already underneath that standard, the MQS. You'll probably hear us talk about that a little bit later tonight in the para races. And then a Canadian record in the men's 100 breaststroke.
Absolutely. So Nicholas Bennett in the SB14 category was under the under the Canadian record. So already a great start to this meet for him, and he was way ahead of everybody else in the event. So it's going to be a very exciting race tonight again.
And then our other races that we have tonight, we have the 200-meter individual medley, the 100-meter backstroke, and the 400-meter freestyle. 400-meter freestyle, we're going to get to see that youngster, an absolute crackerjack of a youngster, Summer McIntosh.
Yeah, so she's still at that age where anything can happen. Like, she can do best times pretty much any single time she jumps in the pool. So this morning was a decent swim. Let's see how fast she can go tonight.
And in a race I know you're going to keep an eye on as well. That was your event back in the day, wasn't it, Sarah?
Absolutely. I love the 400. I used to do it at every single meet. So yeah, my absolute favorite in the pool.
Right, and we've seen it in so many of our races this morning. We'll see it again tonight. The women's swimming is doing so well, and it is so competitive. It's not going to be any problem for a swimmer to get underneath that qualifying standard. The FINA A cut, we're going to see it in the 200 IM and the 100 meter backstroke. A bit more challenging for some of our men, but when you talk about the men, you can talk about Finley Knox, for example. He was underneath that cut this morning in the 200 meter individual medley, just over his Canadian record, but still a 1:59.5.
Yeah, so a very decent swim already this morning, and the field is wide open, so it's anybody's game at this point. So we might see our next swimming superstar.
And how about Kylie Moss? She is always so dependable. Another 58.4, looking fantastic this morning, out in 28.0 underneath that standard. We also had the second place swimmer from this morning's preliminaries, Ingrid Wilm. She went a best time, and she was also underneath that standard of a 1:05.
Yeah, the 100 backstroke for the women's is incredibly strong in Canada. So it's like we already know that our swimmers can go under the qualifying standards. So now it's just a game of who's going to be the fastest on the wall.
Right, and so not only that, the names that you've all heard before, they'll be up tonight, but we also have a number of junior swimmers looking to qualify here for the Junior Pan Pacific Championship. So there'll be some names that you've maybe not heard before, but this is going to be our next generation, our group of up-and-comers.
Yeah, they've been doing fantastic this morning. Almost every single junior swimmers in the finals tonight were swam a best time this morning. So I think they're ready to show they have their place on in the international competitions.
So some great racing coming up tonight. Thank you for joining us. Here we are at Day 1 finals at the 2022 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials.
Watching Seo Saikon Mahat. At this time, we ask you to direct your attention to the turn end of the pool to join Ivy Seward, Joe Seward, and Rose Seward of the Warriors of Ivan Morris Sr. for a blessing of the water.
It's great to everyone. the welcome to the traditional territory of the Percentage people. As that was mentioned, there's 4 nations comprised of the Percentage people, and I thank Sukhnamet for the Sanchaka version of welcoming you here to the traditional lands. Thank you. We're going to share a song with you to bless the waters for you. I'm going to give thanks to Hayats, who you would know as the creator. So I'd ask the Creator to please give strength to all these youth that are here to practice their way of health and wellness. To us, Percentage people, that water is very sacred. It gives us strength, mind, body, and spirit, or we could say health and wellness. Hi, Stacey, and thank you very much for your attention today and your acknowledgement to the warriors of Ahishtin. Thank you.
Your officials for tonight, the referee for the women is Daryl Martin from Ontario. Le juge arbitre féminin, Daryl Martin de l'Ontario. Le juge arbitre masculin, le male referee, Trevor Cohen from Ontario. Le juge arbitre para, le pair referee, Jeff Combs from Ontario. Le juge de départ féminin, the starter for the women, Kenny Garrigan from Manitoba. Le juge de départ masculin, the men's fighter, Bill Morrison from New Brunswick. The juge de départ backup, the barrister, Gary Grover from Saskatchewan. Please join us now in remembering longtime official and volunteer Paul Torco, who passed away on March 30th. Paul got involved in swimming when his children started with the Pickering Swim Club and was an active member of the swimming community for over 20 breaststroke.
Et après une première soirée de finale ici à Victoria, on va commencer la soirée avec l'épreuve de 302, 5 mètres brasse masculin par an.
Swimming in lane 4 for this championship final from the Kyushu Swim Club, Jacob Brayshaw. We'll ask Jacob just to relax for a moment if we have a slight technical delay. Jacob Brayshaw of the Kyushu Swim Club competes in the SB2 classification in this 50 breaststroke. Underway here at the Adult Canadian Swimming Trials with our first event of the week and our first event of championship finals. This morning, Jacob was a 2:04.34.
Alors pour la première épreuve, l'épreuve de 302, 50 places masculin, discussion pendante, on va avoir 4 Jacob Brayshaw, Kyushu Swim Club, avec un temps de 2:04.34 ce matin. Il est en train de battre ce temps ce soir dans cette première épreuve du 50 places masculin.
About 20 meters to go now for Brayshaw in this 50 breaststroke.
In this event, the breaststroke events, a B2, sorry. And he's a 2002 born, so a young man out of Kyushu here in British Columbia. And this morning we saw him at 2:04.34.
He's looking pretty good. I think we're going to see faster than he did this morning.
I think we should. He's almost to the wall. He just has a couple meters left to go. Again, 2:04.34, 2:01.25 personal best, and he's under 2:00.64, chops more than a half second, nearly a full second off of his best time.
Absolutely. So great swim for him. So personal best, 4 seconds faster than this morning. Not quite fast enough for the MQS, but still a very good swim for this swimmer.
And just a youngster, as we mentioned, 2002 year of birth. So he should have plenty of years to go in the sport and plenty of opportunity for improvement later on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In para swimming, we often see swimmers being a little older on average than in the Olympic events. for many reasons. But yeah, we can see very young swimmers, but we also have some people that make the team that are over 30. Yeah, plenty of time to improve and qualify for other events in the future.
And so we did talk about the qualification procedure. We talked about MQS. Perhaps for the benefit of our French listeners who've tuned in, maybe you want to rehash a little bit of that for them.
Puis donc, on va répéter en français. Donc, pour les épreuves paralympiques, on a le MQS qui est le temps minimum de qualification. Les nageurs doivent avoir au moins un temps sous ce standard-là pour pouvoir se qualifier aux compétitions. Et ensuite, il y a un deuxième temps qui est la qualification B. Donc, c'est des temps qui sont un peu moins rapides, mais quand même un bon défi pour nos nageurs. Donc, à partir du moment qu'ils ont un MQS, ils peuvent ensuite se qualifier pour plus d'épreuves avec le deuxième standard. Et pour la qualification, donc, on a les chiffres et les lettres. Donc, les lettres S, c'est pour les épreuves de crawl, de dos et de papillon. SB pour les épreuves de brasse. SM pour les épreuves de QNI. Et les chiffres, c'est pour la classe dans laquelle ils sont.
And just missing that 2-minute barrier. 2:00.01, that'll be a target for next time, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. We've been going under 2 minutes consistently, so to be over is definitely not what we want to be.
Well, congratulations on the win here tonight, Jacob, the 50 breaststroke. Your champion is here, 50 breaststroke from Kisu, Jacob Brayshaw.
Thank you, guys.
Alors, pour terminer l'explication, sur les classifications, les chiffres sont pour la catégorie des nageurs, donc les 1 à 10 pour les handicaps physiques, 11, 12 et 13 pour les handicaps visuels et 14 pour les handicaps intellectuels.
They're seeded here tonight by time, and it's Justine Moria in lane number 4, who's the top seed by time at 1:25.6. Beside her, Katarina Roxon at 1:27.1. But the top qualifier in the morning off of points was Tess Rutliff, and she is swimming in lane number 6.
Yeah, so as we said earlier, the points are according to the world record in each category. So usually you'll see the higher classes with the less important disabilities having faster time, but that doesn't mean that they have more points.
And Roxanne in lane number 5 out much faster than she was this morning. 39.4 on the first 50. She's coming into this event with an entry time of 121.9. She was 127.1 this morning. So probably plenty of energy left in the tank for Roxanne, a swimmer with all sorts of experience.
Yeah, Katarina is a multiple Paralympian. She was a gold medalist in the 100 breaststroke in Rio in 2016. So very experienced. It's her birthday today too. So I think she's very excited, and racing next to Justine gives her that little edge to have someone to race against, and she's touching the wall
and
first.
She is first. And look at this, a 125.03, about a half second better than Justine Morier. Morier right on her time from this morning. Third coming to the wall was Van Dyke, that's Emma Van Dyke in lane number 3 at a 130.1, right on where they were this morning, and a good drop by Roxanne in lane 5.
Yes, and that places her under the MQS that we were talking about earlier. So this morning she was a little over it. The time in her category was 125.67, so she's right under it tonight. So good job, Kat.
So a good showing here in the multi-class event for the para women in the 100-meter breaststroke. Again, those placings, what we're seeing on the board and the results, that's by time. As Sarah explained earlier on in our show, final results are determined by the para points. It's a comparison and a relative comparison to the world standard, the world record in their particular category. So we're going to have to wait a little bit to get those final results. And we're certainly not going to know that team placement until after the competition and everything has been swum and we can compare all those different results.
Yeah, so the para swimmers they all have a few extra hours, days to be nervous and wonder if they actually made the team.
So they'll be kept on pins and needles while the selection committee goes through the various results and see where they end up. But nonetheless, some pretty good performances there. In our first couple events, the 50-meter breaststroke, we saw Jacob Brayshaw, new lifetime best, just about cracked that 2-minute mark, so a good swim for him in the first event. And then some very good close racing here in the women's 100-meter breast. Coming up next, it is going to be the men's 100-meter breaststroke in the multi-class event. And what did we see this morning? Canadian record by Nick Bennett from Ravensong.
Yeah, so Nick Bennett, he's a young swimmer, has already been to the Pan Ams in 2019, Tokyo in 2020. So he's young, but he's still very hungry for more.
So it should be pretty exciting. That time was a 105.39. It was a good drop by Bennett this morning.
I just got back in the water 6 weeks ago, so it's a good time to kind of start my season off. So to see what the rest of the season holds.
And coming off of a bronze medal in the relay last summer at the Paralympics in Tokyo, how has this season been coming from the excitement of the Paralympics and going through that experience into now being here at trial and getting ready for another hopeful international experience this summer?
Tokyo was definitely an experience, very different, but looking towards what we're going to do this summer for the world, and hopefully the next couple months lead on some really good times.
Well, congratulations. What else are we going to see you in over the next few days here in Victoria?
I have 100 freestyle, 50 freestyle, 100 backstroke.
Busy schedule. Katarina Roxanne, congratulations on your time here tonight, and thank you for chatting with us here at the Nelson Trials.
And that was Katarina Roxanne, the young lady who, from the Aqua Aces, who won the 100-meter breaststroke. And as we were just talking about, Nick Bennett, he swam a 105.39 this morning from Ravensong. Also a youngster, a 2003 born, and already at that young age, plenty of experience from Bennett.
Yeah, so it's one of those, I was saying earlier, sometimes the para swimmers are a little older. Well, for Nick, he's definitely an early bloomer, and he has experience already, but also so much room to grow and plenty of time to get to his full potential.
So we're going to keep our eye on him, another swimmer who put up a lot of points in the 100-meter breaststroke this morning, James Leroux from University of Laval. He was a 112.09. He scored 813 points. How close was he to the MQS?
Nick Bennett was way under the MQS, and then James was He did 112, and he was also under the NQS for his category. That would be 115.48. So it was over 3 seconds under that NQS.
So 3 seconds under, he's sitting in a pretty good position for selection later on. That's a good start and a good prelim swim out of him from Laval.
Oh yeah, and for James Leroux, he is a breaststroker only in para events, so he wants to go all out and make sure that he qualifies in the 100 breaststroke, because he won't have any other opportunity for qualification for para worlds later in the meet.
And so we mentioned earlier that it is selection for the Para Worlds in June, but it's also selection for the para team going to the Commonwealth Games happening later in July and August in Birmingham, England.
Yeah, so there are a few specific categories and events of para swimmers who can go to the Commonwealth Games. So we won't know that team until later this month. I think the deadline for choosing the swimmers is April 18th. So we won't know right away who are our para swimmers going to the Commonwealth Games, but they still want to go all out and make sure that they qualify for those few spots that they can qualify in.
Right now we see Kishu's Jacob Brayshaw receiving his medal for the 50-meter breaststroke.
So he might have been the only one in the pool, but it's still well-deserved. It was a great race from him.
Well, he may have been, but he sure made the most of that opportunity, going a best time by almost 4 seconds, almost cracking that 2-minute mark. So a good start to his long course season there.
Absolutely, and a great start for the meet, and hopefully he can do better later in the week.
And it does look like we got our next event coming up. This is the one we've been talking about. Sarah, it's the men's 100-meter breaststroke. And as we saw, there's a couple swimmers underneath that MQS standard this morning, and a Canadian record in the S14 category by Nick Bennett from Ravensong.
Alors, je vais mentionner pour ceux qui nous écoutent en français, donc les temps pour les finales ce soir, c'est pas nécessairement le premier qui arrive au mur qui va gagner la médaille. C'est un système de points, donc c'est le temps par rapport au record du monde dans la catégorie de chacun des nageurs. Donc, on regarde les temps, oui, mais on regarde surtout le pointage que les nageurs vont avoir. Donc, plus ils sont proches de leur record du monde dans leur catégorie, plus le pointage va être élevé. Et c'est comme ça qu'on va déterminer qui sont les gagnants.
Here we go with our swimmer introductions. We're getting now to the middle of the pool. And just like the women's race, we are seeded by time, although not necessarily by rank, as we go from the prelims to finals. And the top qualifier in lane number 4 out of Ravensong, that's Nick Bennett. Again, 105.39, so we'll keep our eye on the clock. Again, possibly see another Canadian record in that men's 100 breaststroke. And off we go. And it is Bennett in lane number 4, Canadian record holder now in the S14 category. It was a time of 105.39. It was more than a second and a half off of his personal best from this morning.
That was a fantastic swim from him. And we know that swimmers usually swim faster in finals. So we're very excited to see what he's going to do tonight. So this morning he started the first 50 in 30.36. So let's see if he goes faster.
And look at that, 30.13, 0.2 of a second better than he was this morning. Leroux beside him in lane number 5 is second in a 32.38. And then we go down to Jagdev Gill in lane number 3, 34.62. But Bennett from Ravensong in the middle of the pool out faster than he was this morning.
It's looking very good for a potential new record tonight.
And he just has 10 meters left to go. His Canadian record that he's shooting for, again, keep your eye on the clock, 105.39, the time he did this morning. And here tonight, 105.65, just over that time, but a great swim, twice under 106, a time he's never done before. A great job by Bennett in lane number 4 from Ravensong.
It might not be a new Canadian record, but it's still well under that MQS that all swimmers want to get to. So he's over 5 seconds under that time.
James Leroux, faster than he was this morning. He was 1:12.0. Here, 1:11.8, again underneath that MQS standard. And then also third, Jagdev Gill. He was just off from where he was this morning. He was a 1:16.0 and a 1:16.6. Top 3 finishers here tonight in the men's 100 breaststroke.
Great swims from our guys in the 100 breaststroke, and we're gonna have to check on the MQS for each of these swimmers, but most of them were faster or about the same time as they did this morning. So great finals for the guys.
And so shortly we're going to have a post-race interview coming up. And I believe that we're going to get a chance to hear from James Leroux from Rouge et Or, which is the University of Laval team. And Leroux is second in that race at 1:11.81 underneath the MQS standard and a little bit faster than he was this morning in the prelims. I'm just waiting for James to get on camera and to the mic, and we'll be hearing from him shortly.
Fastest time in our session here tonight. Now, Nick, a little off the time you went this morning, unofficially this morning, a Canadian record in 100 breaststroke. Was that your target coming in here tonight?
Personally, for tonight, that felt a little disappointing. Or underwhelming. I felt the last rate 5 kind of started spinning.
Was the record one of your targets though for this week coming in? You got it this morning. Was that one of the things you were shooting for?
Yes. We were a little bit ahead of the curve with that. But compared to this morning, say,
and nice to come back here to Vancouver Island. I know you're up just under the mountain hat there.
It's just great to be here. Just compared to last year, it's gone 8 months out of the year. So it was extremely.
Well, congratulations on your performance here tonight and that unofficial Canadian record for this morning. Nicholas Bennett, last time most of you here this track.
There he was. That was Nick Bennett. We saw him break the Canadian record this morning. He had a huge drop, 1.5 seconds off of his personal best, and just over that tonight. First one that will touch the wall, 105.6. Great swims for him, putting himself into contention for selection, both the World Championships and possibly the Commonwealth Games as well.
Yeah, and we don't have that many good breaststroke swimmers in the para events in Canada, so it's great to have him. He's coming in strong, and hopefully he'll inspire the next generation of breaststroke swimmers.
And then we've got the next event coming up, which is event 5. This is a women's 200-meter individual medley. And we're going to have 3 finals in each of our events. We're going to have the B final, the A final, followed by a junior final. As we've mentioned earlier, we're selecting for a number of teams, the World Championships, Commonwealth Games, as well as the Junior Pan Pacific Championships. Up next, this is going to be the B final of women's 200-meter individual medley. And off we go into the B. Top seed in the B final, Megan Wheeler in lane number 4 from Nepean, Canada. She was a 2:18.64 this morning in the prelims. And she is the top qualifier in the B final. There are considerations for the junior team, but the A team for Worlds and Commonwealth Games will be selected out of the A final only. Going through the first 50 meters, Rosie Zavaros from MAC, turning a 29.40 on the first 50 meters of butterfly. Zavaros this morning, a 2:19.43. Halfway through the backstroke and looking strong, trying to move up. Ali Janvier in lane number 5 from Point Claire, also having a strong backstroke leg. As they come to the 100 wall, it's going to be Zavaros in lane number 3. And turning 104.10. She's got an entry time. She had an entry time at 2:21, so a couple seconds off of that. A good swim by Zavaros as they turn onto the breaststroke. John Ray looking strong, still in lane number 5, now starting to move up in 4. That's Wheeler. She's the top seed in the B final. She was 2:18.64 this morning. That was right on her best time. Field starting to bunch up on Zavaros now as they come to the wall. This is going to be the 150-meter mark, 50 meters of freestyle to go, and it's still Zavaros out in front, followed by Wheeler, and now into third. It's Kennedy Lowen for Crest, swimming at lane number 7. 1:45.40 is a split time for Zavaros in lane number 3. She's got to be a 33.2 or better to go underneath that 2:18.6 that she did this morning. And she's having a good finish. 15 meters left to go. Zavaros, Wheeler, now back into third. It's Janvier in lane number 5. But it looks like at the touch, it's going to be Zavaros at 2:18.36, 5/100ths of a second ahead of Wheeler in lane number 4. Great finish to that race.
That was a very, very tight finish, very exciting to watch.
So that's faster again than Zavaros went in the morning, so a good drop by her. Janvier as well. Again, another drop from this morning and a tight finish, as Sarah was mentioning, 2:18.36 to 2:18.41. Top 2 swimmers here in the B final. Up next, it is going to be the A final of the women's 200-meter individual medley, and this one is going to be another close race, Sarah.
Yeah, this morning we saw very, very fast swims. Mary Sophie Harvey is the Quebec record holder for that event. She swam a great, great race this morning. And in second, we had Cindy Pickram, who was just 400th of a second slower than Mary Sophie. So it's going to be a great race between these two tonight.
Full with Sydney Pickram in lane number 5 from Toronto Swim Club. She is a Canadian record holder in this event. A 2:08.61 is her time. We've got Bailey Anderson, who's also in the final. She's been under 2:10. She's going to be swimming in lane number 3. It's a 2:09.99 is her lifetime best. She was 2:13.41 this morning, just a couple 100ths of a second behind Harvey in lane number 4. Up next, we do have our medal presentations. This is for the para multi-class event and the women's 100-meter breaststroke. So, as we mentioned, it's not straightforward on the final placings. It does look like Abby Tripp picked up the bronze medal in the women's 100-meter breaststroke. Silver is going to go to Katarina Roxon. Abby Tripp from CNQ picks up the bronze. Roxon Aqua aces silver, and Tess Rutliff from University of Laval picks up the gold medal.
Fantastic swim from Tess Rutliff tonight. She went 3 seconds faster than this morning, and she's way ahead of everyone else in the points.
Your bronze medalist. Médaille de bronze from the Upper Canada. Silver medalist, la médaille d'argent. Le rouge et or national, Jean Leroux. And your gold medalist, champion of the 100 breaststroke for the Ravensthorpe Aquatic Club, Nicholas Bennett. Congratulations, gentlemen. Félicitations, ménagères.
And there we are, the medalists in the men's para-multi-class 100-meter breaststroke.
Lorsque nous pensons au sport et à la nourriture, nous pensons souvent qu'à la nutrition. Mais c'est plus que cela. C'est notre façon de nous connecter avec nos proches après nos déplacements.
Broken place water drive, Mrs. Bailey Anderson. In 5.
So here we go now. Start of the women's 200-meter individually. Coming into this event, 5 of these young women underneath the World Championship qualifying standard. And off we go, as we've said all along, Sarah. 2:12.98. The standard is not going to be the issue here. It is going to be who can get their hand in one of the first 2 positions onto the wall first.
Absolutely. Our girls that have been killing it in the pool for the past few years. And the 200 medley is one of those events that we have a very, very strong field.
28.35 was the split time by Mary Sophie Harvey this morning. Out first, though, Ashley McMillan, 27.66. She is out very quick in swimming in lane number 2. Second, it is Pickram, 27.96. That's ahead of her Canadian record space very early in this one. We'll see how she does on the backstroke before turning on to the back half of this race. We're going to look to see a 100 mid. If we have, look at McMillan out in lane number 2. Wow, 100.26. That is 0.6 of a second under the Canadian record as they turn onto the breaststroke. 101.53 is the split for Pickram. Mary Sophie at 101.62. And McMillan really gunning for it here. Swimming out of lane number 2. She's in contention for a spot on that Junior Pan Pacific team, if not a higher position either on the Worlds or the Commonwealths, because she's going to be underneath that standard as well. As our top 4 swimmers now all come to the last wall together, it is Pickram now taking over the lead, 139.2, 0.6 of a second ahead of Harvey. McMillan is sitting back in third in a 140. But it is Pickram in lane number 5, Harvey in lane number 4, coming to the wall. Here comes Chaplua, world champion in the 400 IM, in lane number 6, trying to close on the field. But it is Pickram in lane number 4. She's going to get her hand on the wall first. Sydney Pickram, 2:10.58. Second, Mary Sophie Harvey, a lifetime best by a full second in 2:10.98. And third to Chaplua, 2:12.03. Top 3 girls, all underneath that standard.
What an amazing finish, and I think that would be a season's best for Sydney Pickram. So great race, even though Ashley McMillan was leading in the beginning, she was really going for it, but Sydney, with her experience, she was able to come back very strong in the second half to win the race.
And McMillan still junior age eligible, putting up a great performance, which should put her into consideration for the Junior Pan Pacific Championships happening in August. That event is happening in Honolulu, traditionally where it is held when the U.S. is hosting the Junior Pan Pacs. And we're going to get to hear from Sydney Pickram now, women's champion in the 200-meter individual medley.
We're going to grab a word with Sydney Pickram, winner tonight of the 200 individual medley. And that time, Sydney, fastest time in the world so far for 2022 in the 200 IM. Happy with the performance here tonight?
I think trials is set, I've got to get the job done, and I'm happy I can do that. It's not exactly what I wanted, but, got the job done. I'll look back so that I can get better and have a good run this summer.
Important to get under that qualification standard early in the meet here. 6-day meet, you didn't want to wait till later to have to qualify onto the World Championship team. How important was that for you coming in here on day 1?
Oh, it's huge. I think we didn't really discuss much past this first day because we just wanted to see where I was at and get it done. And so I'm really happy. It's great to be back here. This is where I had most of my trials.
event. We have our junior final, and these swimmers are eligible to put up times and performances for consideration in the Junior Pan Pacs. We did have, in our final though, we did have a few swimmers, Ashley McMillan, Julie Brousseau, and Mia West, who are also all age eligible for the Junior Pan Pacs. These girls here will have another opportunity coming up in heat number 3. And off we go with a junior final in the water now. Top seed in this third heat, Catherine Hazel, a 2004 born. She's at a seed time of 2:17.3. She was 2:18.3, just a little bit off of that this morning.
I think she was probably one of the only swimmers in that heat who didn't have a personal best this morning. They all swam very, very fast.
Here we go, that first 50 meters. 29:24, that's Cameron Cannings from the University of Calgary Swim Club. Cannings this morning was a 2:18.6. She was just a second off of her lifetime best, but out pretty strong, 0.6 of a second faster than she was in the prelims. As we go on to the backstroke, you see lane number 3 starting to move up on the far side of the pool. That's out Alexandre Lepage from Vernon Kokanee. She was 2:19.12 this morning. Cannings, though, having a great front half to this race. And Cannings turning in 1:03.77. Just second off of where she was this morning. We'll see if she saved anything for the breaststroke. The breaststroke this morning, probably the weakest of her 4 legs. She split at 43.3. And we'll see if she's got more in the tank here as they go halfway through the breaststroke. Now starting to really move up in lane 3. That is Lepage. And Lepage from Vernon doing a great job through the first 35 meters of breaststroke. Looks like she's caught herself up and is even with Cannings as it comes to the 150-meter wall. And 50 meters of freestyle for Lepage. As she hits and a 1:45.21. Looks like she's got 0.3 of a second up on Hallie West, swimming in lane number 6. And West from Manta, one of the youngest swimmers that we got in the pool, born in 2008, just 13 years old. And it is a tight finish. Look at this, lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6, all coming to the wall. I think it is advantage to lane number 4, Hazel. And it is Hazel in a 2:17.69, winning our junior final. Second is Alexandre Lepage in lane number 3, 2:18.06, and then third in a 2:18.21. It's Hallie West in lane number 6, swimming for Manta. And so again, some solid results here on the women's swims. 200-meter individual medley done now. Coming up next is going to be the men's 200-meter individual medley. A couple heats, we're going to get to see one of Canada's young guns and Canadian record holder in the event, Finlay Knox. Knox was underneath the World Championship qualifying standard this morning. He swam a 1:59.52. You're going to see him up in the second heat. He is a Canadian record holder in this event and finished 17th at the Olympic Games in the 200 IM. And we mentioned the world championship qualifying standard, or FINA A-Cut as it is known elsewhere. It's also the standard they're using to pick the junior Pan Pac team. And what they're doing there is they're using a weighting when your time as a percentage off from that standard is calculated, and you're put into a pool where the highest performing athletes will be selected. And that will serve as Canada's next gen team off to Hawaii later on this summer. But B final up next in event number 6, men's 200-meter individual medley. Lane number 5 is Brendan Van Hert, University of Ottawa Gigi's, and lane number 6, Alex Stropel from Markham Aquatics. Top qualifier 207.84 this morning from Camo. That was Koecki. He's in the middle of the pool, and he is out first, 26.93. through his first 50 meters of butterfly, right where he was this morning. Is 26.81 this morning in prelims. Moving out into the front, though, in lane number 5, that's Brendan Van Herk from the University of Ottawa. And Van Herk this morning at 2:08.46, a little bit off his entry time at 2:06.83. See where he is at the halfway point. 59.83 was the split time this morning. Looks like he's going to be right around there again as he comes to the 100 wall. 59.63, 0.2 of a second better. Second is Kawecki in lane number 4. Kawecki had a strong breaststroke leg this morning at 36.0. Got up and passed the field in the prelims. Look, he's doing the same thing here again tonight. Kawecki from Camo now up and even and taking over the lead from Van Herk as they come to the 150-meter wall. And Kawecki 1:36.46, doing a pretty good job, almost a half second better than he was this morning. Right there with him is Van Herk in 5. Dumas in lane number 3 trying to move up as they have 25 meters left to go. Kawecki with the advantage in lane number 4. Kawecki 2:07.43 is the entry time. It's going to be close on the touch at the wall. It is 2:06.68. Jeremy Kawecki from Camo winning our B final. Pretty good swim in that B final. Some best times, Sarah, out of these swimmers here?
I think we can see Jeremy Kawecki did his best time was 2:07.43 and he just did 2:06.68, so that's almost a full second off. That's an excellent swim from him. And I think also the second wasn't quite there yet with a PB, but still a very decent swim, just a little 0.2 of a second over his personal best.
Well, so just coming out of the B final, we'll see if that carries over into our A final, where we're going to get a chance, as we mentioned earlier, to see one of our Canadian record holders on the male side is going to be Finley Knox. A bit of a youngster. He was 17th place at the Olympic Games in this event. He was into the final at the World Short Course Championships above the 102 diameter.
Your bronze medalist, Dana Bones, from the Markham Aquatic Club, Tessa Shipluha. Silver medalist, médaille d'argent du Club Aquatique Montréal, Marie-Sophie Harvey.
Mary-Sophie Harvey out of
And your gold medalist, champion of the 200 individual medley, votre médaille d'or from the Toronto Swim Club, Sydney Pickram. Congratulations to our medalist.
A little over a second over his best time, but he swam a very good race and he's back.
this morning. So we'll see what the other swimmers in this A finals are going to do tonight. I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to challenge Finlay, but I think we're going to still see some good races.
You're right, and it might be Finlay against the clock, but all these other swimmers looking to make some drops in their personal best. And let's not forget, we have 4 swimmers age eligible, for the Junior Pan Pacific team, all swimming here in this A final. And the top seed is going to be Lauren Wigington from the University of Calgary, 205.40 this morning, off of a 206.95. So a good drop for him, trying to put himself into contention for selection for the Junior Pan Pacific Championships. Already done that. Gagne is going to have a little bit of a drop to get down there. And then our top 2 seeded junior age swimmers, Lauren Wigington from the University of Calgary Swim Club at 205.40. And then our second seeded junior swimmer, Benjamin Lowen from Crest Swimming. He was at 205.85 this morning, just a couple tenths off of his best time. But both those swimmers here in the A final get an opportunity to race against Canada's best and one of the top IM swimmers in the world, Finlay Knox, swimming for Scarborough.
We will now present the awards for the junior 200 individual medley. The junior awards are presented to the top junior swimmers from the super final, the A final, and the junior final based on their overall time. The bronze medalist of the junior awards from the Manta Swim Club, Mia West. The silver medalist from the Nepean Canada Barracudas, Julie Brousseau. And your gold medalist for the junior awards for the Greater Ottawa Kingfish, Ashley McMillan. Congratulations to our junior medalist in the swim event. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome now your championship final in the 200 individual medley.
Accueillons maintenant le tennis A, 200 mètres UNI masculin.
All right, here we go. This is the A final in the men's 200-meter individual medley. Top time in the world so far, 156.33. Put up by Shen Wang from China in the fall. We had another great swims recently at the Tier Pro Series in the U.S.
And 7 for Wellington County Rays, Tristan Yankovic.
Other 156s and 57 for Chase Kalish. Shane Costas putting up a great time early on this season. I look forward to see what Knox can get out of himself here. 158.07. Did that time at the Olympic trials in June of last year.
Simon Fraser Aquatics, Colin Gagne.
And we'll also be looking forward to see what these junior swimmers can put down as they vie for selection at the Junior Pan Pacifics.
Men's 200 individual medley championship final.
Good start by Knox in lane number 4. Solid off of that block and a great underwater to get going on the butterfly. Knox 24.88 this morning on his first 50 meters of butterfly. Just a little bit off of his Canadian record pace. We'll see what he is here as he comes to the 50. 24.71. That's 5/100ths of a second underneath Canadian record pace.
And also faster than what he did this morning. So great first 50 for his 200 IM.
We'll look to see what we can get out of Knox on this backstroke. He was 30.7 this morning. It's of the 4 legs at this event, probably the weakest, and that's not saying much because he doesn't have a lot of weak legs in this IM. Look at this, 54.77. That's a great split. 0.6 of a second under the Canadian record. 30.0 on the backstroke. Half a second faster than he's ever been. And we're going to look to see what he can do on this butterfly. Gagne is sitting in second in lane number 5. He's having a great breaststroke leg. 54.7. He should be underneath or very close to 129.0 at this 150. Let's see what he is. Look at this, 129.2. 0.6 of a second under Canadian record place. We could see a 157 low, maybe even a 156 high. 5th fastest time in the world so far is a 158.11, which is right at that Canadian record. And Knox is looking very, very good with 10 meters left to go in lane number 4. I think this record is in jeopardy. Look at the touch, and it is 157.50, a new Canadian record. Finlay Knox getting it done here in the men's 200 IM final. Second is Gagne, 2:00.03, a great swim for him. That's one of the top 5 times ever done by a Canadian man in this event. Third going to Benjamin Lowe in the top junior, and at 2:03.48, picking up a bronze medal in this one. What a race, Sarah.
Very exciting to watch, and we're all very excited to see what Finlay is going to do this summer in all the events that he's going to qualify for.
And so I think that puts Knox 4th or 5th in the world right now in that men's 200 IM. What a great race for Finlay Knox. Not a weak leg there, just almost under 30 seconds on the backstroke, which I know something he's been working at for a while. Very good breaststroke leg and a solid finish on the freestyle. Colin Gagne, though, a 2-second drop, personal best for him.
That's absolutely fantastic. 2 seconds on the 200 is such a huge improvement. So absolutely fantastic race from Colin Gagne.
And I'm really impressed with those 2 juniors in this race. 3rd place finisher Benjamin Lowen from Crest, 2:03.48. It's a 2.5 best time. Lord Wigington at 2:04.0, a 2.5 second drop for Wigington. Here is
Really, congratulations on that win here tonight and under the qualifying standard for world and a Canadian record.
To you. This is a tough one. Just train hard, super fast, and have fun.
Coming into this meet, was the FINA A time for the world selection or the Canadian record your target?
Neither, just, you know, it's been a year since Olympic trials, and I'm growing as a person, just going in as soon as fast as I can.
I mean, you took over half a second off the Canadian record from last June. That's a huge drop in time in less than a year. You got to be pretty excited about what's going to happen this summer as you go to World Worlds in Budapest.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just, we're halfway there. This is obviously an important meet, but focus is this summer.
Well, congratulations, Finley Knox, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, new Canadian record.
Thank you, guys.
There's Knox preparing for the summer and doing it in style 157.50.
Which is the junior final.
For him, up next, the third heat of the 200-meter individual medley, and this is our junior final. Eight-seeded junior age swimmers. We saw a 2:03.4 out of Benjamin Lowen from Crest Swimming in heat number 2. He's of junior age, as is Lauren Wigington at 2:04.08. Those two times will be added into the mix as they look for junior team selection. They come through here now, the first 50 meters of butterfly in heat 3. 26.59 for Marcus Mack, swimming in lane number 3. Mack this morning from Island Swimming put up a 2:08.96. And Mack looking strong in lane number 3. Coming to the 100 meters in a 58.45. Tom Caruso sitting in second from Spartan in lane number 7. Caruso this morning at 2:10.35. Mack, he did put up a lifetime best this morning with that 2:08 swim. He's about a half second faster than he was in the prelims as they come to the 3/4 mark, far into the pool. 50 meters of freestyle to go. He turns at 1:36.42. Almost a second and a half better than this morning's split. And he is looking good, trying to get it up there with him in lane number 4. Braden Tabasolo from Markham. And Tabasolo having a good finish. Mack trying to hold him off in lane number 3 as it comes to the wall. Look at this, 10 meters left to go. And Mack from Island with an advantage. And it's going to be Marcus Mack in 3, 2:07.16.
I am a little earlier. I think it's not who touches, it's not who swims under the standards. It's who's going to touch the wall first.
I think you said it, Sarah. This is an event that Canada has an awful lot of depth in. The top 8 seeded swimmers from this morning were all are seated underneath that cut. We didn't have 8 of them underneath that in the prelims, but we did have 2 of them, and that is Kylie Moss, who we talked about earlier. Again, so consistent in her performances. 58.41 this morning. out at Canadian record pace. Ease back a little bit. Canadian record 57.70. Also underneath the standard, your second qualifier, Ingrid Wilm. Ingrid Wilm was a standout star for the LA Current on the ISL earlier this fall. Broke the Canadian record in the 100 backstroke short course, 50 backstroke short course. She's the number 2 seed after going a lifetime best this morning at 59.77. So plenty of action to come in the women's A final of the 100-meter backstroke. Up first will be our B final. And it looks like we are ready to start. First of 3 finals in the women's 100-meter backstroke. Heat number 1. This is the B final. Off we go. Rosie Zavros in lane at number 4 as a top seed. She's a 102.71 this morning in the prelims. About a half second better than her entry time. She's got Megan Wheeler beside her. Wheeler this morning in lane number 5. She was a 104.27. Saw Wheeler and Zavros go head-to-head in the B final of the 200-meter individual medley. Here it is again in the 100-meter backstroke. Zavros out in front, 30.59. About a tenth of a second better than she was this morning. Wheeler in lane number 5 beside her. Moving up is Janvier in lane number 3. Janvier also in the middle of the pool, the B final of the 200 IM. Right back at it here in the 100-meter backstroke. This one is going to be Zavros from Markham. In lane number 4, hitting the wall first, 102.76. Award ceremonies now for the men's 200 IM.
junior champion to land from Crest Swimming, Benjamin Mullen. Congratulations, félicitations, René. We'll now welcome the pool deck your 8 finalists in the 100 backstroke.
All right, Sarah, here we go. One of the events that we've been waiting for all night. So much depth, as we've already talked about here in the women's 100-meter backstroke. And some great swims this morning by a number of these swimmers.
Brooklyn Guthright. In lane 1 from the UBC Thunderbirds, Danielle Hannon. In lane 7 from Greater Ottawa Kingfish, Ashley McMillan. In 2 from the Greater Ottawa Kingfish, Reagan Rothwell. Into 6 from Aquatic Montréal, Marie-Sophie Hervé. In 3 from the Scarborough Swim Club, Taylor Rock. In lane 5 from Cascade Swim Club, Ingrid Wills. And in lane 4 from the Toronto Swim Club, Canadian record holder in this event, Eileen Moss. Women's 100 backstroke final.
And a great start into the middle of the pool. Look at these underwaters, Sarah, by Kylie and Ingrid. Out like a flash.
And you can see that they really take advantage of that underwater to start the race with a lot of speed, a lot of power, and keep the energy, keep their arms for a fast pace in the lane.
And let's see what their split is. 28.07 this morning. Moss 28.30. Wilm 28.85. She's 5/100ths of a second better. Third is Ruck at 29.30. And that's right where she was this morning. And so it is coming down to the last 25 meters. Moss looking great, starting to distance herself from everybody. Again, she was a 58.40. She is the third fastest swimmer of all time in this event. And it looks like she is going to get her hand onto the wall first. It is Moss, 58.48. Second at the touch, a great touch by Ruck, 59.67. And third, 59.75, Ingrid Wilm in lane number 5. Top 3 swimmers, all underneath that qualifying standard. Again, so consistent. 58.4 this morning, 58.4 tonight. Not giving herself any break in the morning swims whatsoever. Ruck, she took she took 2 seconds off to get down to that 59 seconds in that second place swim.
So great swim from Kali. It's not easy to swim as fast in the morning and then do swim fast again in the finals. It takes a lot of energy. So very, very consistent swimmer. You can see how experienced she is. She can control her energy to be able to do those extremely good swims twice in a day.
And there we have it, your top three, 58.48 for Moss, 59.67 for Ruck, 59.75 for Wilm. All three of those ladies underneath that qualifying standard.
Kylie Moss, congratulations on your win here tonight in the 100 backstroke, 58.48. Tell us a little bit about that race tonight, and are you happy with that time?
Not super happy at the time, but super pleased to have come home on top. And I love racing in this pool. A lot of fast swims, a lot of great memories here. So it's good to be back on the West Coast, and to be up on top is all I can ask for.
Backstroke in this country, women's backstroke is stacked right now. So come out on top, as you say, and be under that qualification standard for Worlds. Do it on day one, get it out of the way. You must be pretty excited.
Yeah, super excited. It's always nice to get the first one out of the way and relax a little bit into the meet. So yeah, I'm really happy and looking forward to the rest of the meet.
I mean, we're still early in the year, but that is the fastest time in the world for 2022. So congratulations on a great performance here tonight, and good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Kylie Moss, ladies and gentlemen, you're a winner here tonight in the 100 backstroke. Next, we got our junior final in the 100 backstroke junior final.
Dans la finale junior, sans dos féminin.
Junior final. We did have a couple juniors in the previous heat. In the A final with Eden Rathwell and Ashley McMillan. Those times will count. Times put up here in the junior final. She was Katie Schroeder from Langley. He was 102.41 this morning in the prelims. She was out in 30.46 this morning. Here tonight, 30.40, a few 100ths of a second faster. Sorry, 30.59 is Jordan Grieber, who is out in front. Grieber from Grand Prairie, 103.47 this morning, a 4/10 of a second best time. And she is a swimmer with the lead in lane number 5. And Grieber having a great go at this. Again, 103.47 this morning, and Grieber powering to the finish in 5 for Grand Prairie. Wins the Juke final in a 102.81. And off we go with our B finalists. We do have pretty quick swimmer swimming in lane number 4, Kasper Sikowski, North Carolina State. He's a 53.99 swimmer. He's a 54.42 this morning. And as a foreign national, Polish national team swimmer, not eligible for the A finalists. The reason why he's here swimming in the B, 26.10. On his way out, just a little bit quicker than he was this morning. It's actually right on where he was this morning. We'll see how close he can get down to that 53 swim. Beside him, swimming in lane number 5, also a foreigner. That's Greek national swimmer Evangelos Migranos. And it is going to be at the touch, Sikowski, 54.17, just 18/100ths of a second over his lifetime best. Mark Janis in lane number 5 in for second at 54.43. Some solid swims out of the B final.
Swimmers, please clear the pool. Demande nageur de vérifier, s'il vous plaît. We are going to head down to the award podium area where we will present the awards in the women's 100 backstroke. Procédure là, la remise de médaille 100 mètres d'eau féminin.
Awards presentations now for the women's 100-meter backstroke up for A5.
Bronze medalist, la médaille de bronze for the Cascade Swim Club, Ingrid Will. Silver medalist, médaille d'argent from Scarborough Swim Club, Taylor Ruck. And your gold medalist, with a médaille d'or, final winning time of 58.48 from the Toronto Swim Club, Kylie Moss. Congratulations, ladies. Félicitations, médaillés. Your medalist in the women's 100 backstroke. We'll now present the awards for the junior 100 backstroke. Procédure maintenant de remise de médaille 100 mètres d'eau féminin, catégorie junior. Bronze medalist, la médaille de bronze for the Grand Prairie Piranhas, Jordan Brewer. Silver medalist, la médaille d'argent, Greater Ottawa Kingfish, Ashley McMillan. And your gold medalist, la médaille d'or, junior national champion in the 100 backstroke from the Greater Ottawa Kingfish, Regan Rathwell.
Blake Turney, the top Canadian, 54.45. That was the best time by a half second this morning. And next is going to be Javier Acevedo from Markham. He was 54.76. Acevedo's been a little bit quicker, but that's within a tenth of a second of where he's been in the last few years.
In lane 8, University of Calgary Swim Club, Hayden Norman. In lane 1, the Surrey Night Swim Club, Yukon, Adam Wu. In lane 7, from UBC Thunderbirds, Hugh McNeil. In lane 2, University of Calgary, Richie Scopes. En courant 6, l'évacuation de Montréal, Louis Goupil-Fortin. In 3, from UBC Thunderbirds, Caden DePaul. In lane 5, Markham Aquatic Club, Javier Acevedo. In lane 4, Wisconsin Golden UBC Thunderbirds, Blake Tierney. Championship final for men, 100 backstroke.
Go lane number 4, Blake Turney. He's a rookie swimmer at the UBC Thunderbirds this year. Helped that team win the men's team championship. He won the 100-meter backstroke at U Sport, but he's going to have his hands full here with Javier Acevedo in lane number 5. And we'll watch to see those splits. 26.5, 7 for Turney, 26.64 for Acevedo, and it's Turney out in 26.53, a couple 100s better than this morning, as is Acevedo right there in lane number 5. Acevedo, all sorts of experience, so he was a part of Canada's team last summer in Tokyo as well as Rio. And is just over 10 meters left to go, and it's Acevedo with the lead in lane number 5. Again, a 54.03 is a qualifying cut at the touch. 54.37 for Acevedo. Second is Turney in lane number 4, 54.62, and third, 55.87, Taden DePaul swimming in lane 3. Solid swims out of that heat. And Loic Covell-Fortin, he's our top junior at a 56.00. Some good swims there, Sarah, but just a little bit outside of that standard for the World Championships.
Yeah, probably a little disappointing for those swimmers. They all want to get under those standards, but I think it was still a pretty fantastic swim, incredible finish to that race. It was impossible to know before the touch who would be first to touch the wall, so great effort from our top two swimmers.
Champion here tonight, Javier Acevedo from Markham Aquatic Club. Javi, congratulations on the win here tonight under the secondary standard for consideration on selection of that world's team. Getting a win was the most important thing here tonight.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. It's been a couple of years since I've been able to do really well, so I've only been training for 2 months actually, so it was pretty good to do.
So pretty happy with the win in that time, obviously, to come out under that secondary standard?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this whole year's been a mess with everything. A lot of coaching changes, the event first off. Just happy to have my coach Andrew with me every step of the way, so yeah.
And, you know, I referred to you during the race as a veteran. Like, you're coming in with a bunch of young guys now trying to bump you off that top seat. What does it mean to you to be sort of the senior veteran in that 100 backstroke now?
Yeah, for sure. It feels great. I don't know where Cole is, but, you know, wherever he is, he's a future, and I know that. But, you know, this year, it's for me to step up and be a leader, so yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Announcer mentioned just underneath that secondary qualifying standard. Obviously, he'll be in contention to be perhaps selected as a relay team member, even if he didn't go underneath that A qualifying standard, if you will, for an individual event. And this is heat number 3. This is the junior final. And off we go in this one. Top seed, Tristan Yankovic in lane number 4 from Wellington County, weighs 57.97 this morning. We did have a few of these junior swimmers, though, step up and go pretty quick into the A final. We actually had 3 of them in the A final. The top one at 56.00 from Camo, Loic Corville-Fortin. So these swimmers here will have to go faster than that 56.00. 27.43 for Yankovic in lane number 4. It's a solid outing on that first 50. Again, he was 57.97 this morning. And that's about a half second better than he did in the prelims. He's looking strong here in the middle of the pool. He's got 10 meters left to go at that red marker as he comes to the flags. This one is all Yankovic in lane number 4. 7.97 this morning. And a 57.15, an 0.8 of a second drop to win the junior final from Wellington. That's Tristan Yankovic.
Will be our B final in the women's 400 freestyle. Procédons maintenant à la finale B du 400 livres féminin.
In the women's 400-meter freestyle. So we got lane number 2 from Neptune, that's Rosalie Davidson. Lane number 3 from Burlington, Kenna Smallgage. Lane number 4 from NCS, that is Yara Harath. Lane number 5 from Orangeville, Claire Howard. Lane number 6 from the University of Ottawa Jésus, that's Adele Yamashita Ball. And lane number 7 from the Dorval Swim Club, Tori McClinton. Top seed in lane number 4. From NCS, 4:16.78. That's Yara Hart.
Lane 4, NCS, Yara Hart. Lane 5, Orangeville Otters, Claire Howard. Lane 6, University of Ottawa Gigi, Adele Yamashita Ball. And lane 7, Dorval Swim Club, Tori McClinton.
A little bit quicker than she was as well. 9/10 of a second faster on that first 100. Let's see what she turns here. The 150-meter mark. Quite on pace, lapping where she was, and with a 1 second start, she might be a little bit quicker than she was this morning. Again, she is a foreign swimmer, so she's not eligible to swim in that A final. She did swim a time that was fast enough to get into the A final, but relegated here to the B. And here at this morning at 2:06.29 at the 200 on her split. Turning around and looking pretty strong here. 2:05.37. nearly a full second faster.
So you can see in the first half of the race, the swimmers were looking very relaxed. They were just setting the pace to make sure that they can keep up the same pace until the end of the race. But now that they're on the second half of the race, they should be picking up the pace a little bit to finish strong.
And Sarah, this was your race, and so you know this one very well. A lot of different ways to go and to swim it. Some of our swimmers like to get out and go, nail it on the first 50, and then just sort of hold on for the next 350 meters. Others, a little bit more control, try and back half or negative split by having that second 200 equal to or faster than the first 200. What was your strategy when you swam?
I was very much steady paced swimmer, so I wouldn't go all out in the first 50 because that is way too painful. You don't want to like die in the first 50 and then hang on for the rest of the race. It's a lot, like 350 meters is a long time to be in pain and swimming. So I think the steady pace was the winning strategy for me. And anyway, even if I had wanted to go all out, I think my body's just made for a steady pace. I don't know how to go sprint.
And we're seeing Harris here. She did a pretty good job getting out. She was, like I said, nearly a second faster on her first 100, and then she's been holding, splitting just the same on those 50s like she did this morning in the prelims, turning at 3:43.72 here. About 0.8 of a second faster, so she's held that sort of differential throughout this entire race. 25 meters left to go. We should be able to see her maybe just at 4:15.8, 4:15.9 if she can pick up, and now if she can hold on with less than 10 meters left to go. NCS Yara Harith in lane number 4 in to win the B final, 4:15.64. A great swim for her and another best time, winning our B final. So we are going to have medal presentations coming up pretty shortly. In advance of that, though, let's talk about that next heat coming up, Sarah, and who else in the middle of the pool other than Summer McIntosh.
We also have, Summer McIntosh, obviously, who was absolutely incredible last year at trials and last summer in Tokyo. So very young swimmer. It's very surprising to see such a young swimmer being such in control during a distance event like this. So I see great things for her future, being like so good so early on. She can only get better with time, even more in control and pace better and try out different strategies. So yeah, very promising future for her.
Congratulations, John. Félicitations, la médaille.
we go now. This is going to be the 400-meter freestyle. McIntosh, she's the 16th fastest swimmer all time in this event, and she's just 15 years old. Talking about McIntosh, Canadian record holder. She broke that record at the Olympic Games, a time of 4:02:42, just missing out on the podium in that event. She'll be up here in this one. Already saw some world-leading times out of McIntosh, 400 IM and the 200-meter butterfly. She did those times earlier in March, all within 24 hours of each other. And this 400 freestyle at top speed is not something we've seen since Tokyo. All but two of these swimmers are age eligible in the junior category. Obviously, somebody like McIntosh, I think the Olympic Games won't be trying for that. A number of these other swimmers. All right, here we go. And 4:02:42 is that Canadian record time by Summer McIntosh in lane number 4. She was a 4:08:01 this morning in prelims. Second beside her swimming in lane number 5. Also a member of Canada's Olympic team last summer, Katrina Bellio from Etobicoke. And here we go. Let's see what we got in this first 50. 27:75. About a half second faster than this morning, ahead of her Canadian record pace by just a little bit, Summer McIntosh. And she has been ready all of the time. Anytime she's dove in the water, she had a great Olympic Games, an amazing ISL season in the fall, and she kicked off that long course season absolutely incredibly with that 4:29 IM and 2:05 butterfly. There she is, 57.7. Again, another half second under the Canadian record, her Canadian record. The number one time in the world so far this year, a 4:00:03 by the Olympic champion from Australia, Ariana Titmus. McIntosh looking so good at the 150, 1:27.90. She's gaining a little bit of ground now on that Canadian record. She's 9/10 of a second ahead.
And it's a race against herself at this point. She's way ahead of everybody else in the pool, so it's a very tough race to be swimming by yourself. It just shows what an incredible swimmer she is.
And I think that can be a little bit daunting for some swimmers, but it looks like at 1:58.28, that's a full second ahead of Canadian record place. It's more like a shark smelling blood in the water for McIntosh. She slingshotted around that 200-meter wall and is really picking it up. You can see her stroke rate starting to come up, rise up, and we can see that white water on her legs. What a great first 50 on the back half of this race. Let's see what she does here as she turns 228.8. A great split, and that at 30.6 is a really good fifth 50. At the 300-meter mark, we want to see a 3:00 or better. And she is doing fantastic. Second is Ella Jansen in lane number 6. She's moved ahead of Bellio. Those are teammates at Etobicoke Swimming. And here we go, the 3/4 done. 2:59.71, 0.8 of a second ahead of Canadian record. What may even be in jeopardy is Katie Ledecky's world junior record, a time of 3:58.37, but she is going to need a 58.6 on this last 100. I'm not sure she's given herself enough room to do that, but she looks fantastic. McIntosh now coming to the last wall. Canadian record split, 3:31.55. And look at this, still 0.7 of a second, 3:30.88. 31.1 on that last 50. We'll see what she's got left in the tank here. 25 meters left to go. Canadian record mark from the Olympic Games, a time of 4:02.42. This one, with 10 meters to go, is all Summer McIntosh. And it is a new Canadian record, 4:01.59 for McIntosh. An amazing swim for the youngster in lane number 4. Second goes to lane number 5, Katrina Bellio, a time of 4:11.06. And third to her teammate, Ella Jansen, 1/10 of a second back at 4:11.15. Sarah, what a fantastic race that was.
I mean, 10 seconds ahead of everyone else. You could see her splits were so consistent throughout the race. So incredible race for Summer McIntosh tonight.
And it was an absolutely incredible race. Summer McIntosh, 4:01.59, the third fastest time in the world so far this year. And third in the world so far this year. And we just heard she moved up into the all-time rankings, 11th all-time in the women's 400 freestyle.
4:59 place Summer McIntosh, 11e de tous les temps dans le monde.
Second and third.
We'll grab a word with your champion here tonight in the 400 freestyle. Summer McIntosh, new Canadian record. Great swim, Summer. Was that a time you were aiming for, or were you hoping to be a little bit faster here tonight?
Going into the race, I didn't have an exact time in mind, so I was more focused on how I was going to execute it, and I'm having a good time.
Having a good time is important here at the Canadian Swimming Trials. 4:01.59, 11th fastest all-time performer now in the 400 freestyle, just climbing up those rankings. Do you ever look at rankings like that, or is it not really something you worry about?
To be honest, I don't really look at stuff like that, because I just try to focus on myself and my own goals of performing at my best and training my hardest.
What else are we going to see you in over the next few days here in Victoria?
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Summer. Congratulations, and good luck the rest of the week here in the Canadian Swimming Trials. Next, we move into our junior final.
Great attitude towards rankings and records. Just heard it from Summer McIntosh for all of our young swimmers out there, and she's one of them. But wisdom beyond her years, just focusing on doing all of the little things right and letting the times take care of themselves. Next up, it is our junior final. This is heat number 3 of the women's 400-meter freestyle. got a 4:19:37:20. Saw the strategy that McIntosh employed in that one, which was pretty much get out, put up a very quick outing on the first 50-100, hit that pace, and then just hold the rest of the way. We'll see if anybody is different here in our junior final as we come to the first 100. It is lane number 4, Willer from Point Claire out in front, turning 1-1-0 beside her. Maya Bezinson. She was 50.67. She's right up there with the leaders. And Willard and Bezinson a little bit quicker than they were this morning as they come to the 150-meter mark. Now Bezinson taking the lead at 1:33.67. At 32.250. 3 or 4 tenths faster than she was this morning in prelims on that third lap. As she now is starting to distance herself from Willer coming to this halfway point. The 200 this morning we saw Willer at 2:07.55. Bezinson was 2:08.33. And it's going to be Bezinson turning around first, splitting a 2:06.07, more than 2 seconds faster than she was this morning, really getting up and going for it here in the front half of this race. And Willer in lane number 4 is trying to hold on with Bezinson, doing a good job of that. Bezinson not quite getting away from her as they go to the 250-meter mark. 32.4 for Bezinson, 32.9 for Willer, so she is starting to gain some ground in lane number 5. 2:38.53 is the split time for Bezinson. Right now she's pacing 3 full seconds ahead of where she was this morning. She should be able to get down to her entry time at 4:17.60 if she can hold on to this over the last 100 or so meters. And Bezinson in lane number 5, turning at the 300 now, 3:11.27.
I think we can see in this race the steady pace race done well can absolutely beat someone who goes out super fast. It all depends on the swimmers, but in this case, that's what we're seeing. So Megan Willer was in the lead in the first half of the race, and then Bezinson is steady, staying in control of what she's doing, and Willer is falling a little behind.
And Bezinson's done a pretty good job at keeping steady on those 50s. The back half of the race has all been a full second faster per 50 than what she did this morning in prelims. With 15 meters left to go, I'm sure she's going to be underneath that entry time of 4:17.6. She's gained a lot of momentum here coming to the wall. Bezinson from Etobicoke in a 4:15.71. A great swim and a 2-second drop off of her PB, winning our junior final. is up the lead right here. Murdoch in lane number 8, and it's Murdoch for the first 100 at 56 Murdoch this morning. Bluefins was a 4:04.29.
After this
first 100.
The final of the men's 400 freestyle, we will present the awards for the women's 400 freestyle. If we can get Summer McIntosh, Christina Belton, a chance to down with the award.
B-final of the 400 men event will be much closer in the finish time than the women's were. So we have some great swimmers, but so far no real standout. It's still anybody's game.
And you know what I love about this, Sarah? Stone in lane number 1 and Murdoch in lane number 8 got into this B final as alternates because of scratches, and they're making the absolute most of this out of lane number 1 and lane number 8. Murdoch with the lead to the first 200 meters. Look at this, 1:57.52. A great outing for him. And second is Stone in lane number, third is Stone. It looks like Friesen has moved up in the outside, but trying to roll a gutter ball, it's Kieran Stone in 1 and Cale Murdoch in lane number 8.
I mean, go get it, guys.
And absolutely, why not? Any lane is an opportunity to go a best time, and they're trying to make the most of it here as they go through the 250-meter mark. It's now Ian Friesen in lane number 2 from University of Calgary taking over the lead. He was a 4:03.66 this morning in the prelims. A little bit off of his best time, but he's doing a great job here as he's got 15 meters left to go into the 300-meter mark. Friesen from the University of Calgary now starting to pick up speed, turning around in a 2:59.33.
You can really see the stroke rate getting much faster in the last 100. They really want to make sure that they go all out. They want to give it everything they have to finish strong and make sure that there's nothing left in the tank at the end of that race.
And it's a delicate balancing act, isn't it, Sarah? Trying to pick it up, add in the legs, but make sure that that last stroke is a dying stroke into the wall and not any time before then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you're trying to keep a good pace, but also trying to go all out. It's very, very difficult to achieve perfectly, but I think we're seeing some great things right now in the pool.
And that's what all those hours of training are for, and those hours of training are really paying off for Friesen in lane number 2. Murdoch, though, in lane number 8 is challenging for that lead, and it is Murdoch in 4:00.20 with the win. The alternate who got in because of a scratch from the Williams Lake Bluefins, winning our B final in a time of 4:00.20.
Perfect example of what most coaches tell their swimmers all the time. If you have a lane, you have a chance.
Silver medalist, médaille d'argent. From Etobicoke swimming, Katrina Bellio. Gold medalist, la médaille d'or. With a new Canadian record time of 4:01.59 from Etobicoke swimming, Summer McIntosh. Your quarter freestyle and quarter freestyle junior medalist. Félicitations, médaillé.
And next up is going to be the A final in the men's 400-meter freestyle. And our top seed out of Point Claire, Eric Brown, lifetime best by a second this morning at 3:52.89. Point Claire, a best time by a full second at 3:52.89 this morning. We've got a couple juniors swimming here in lane number 6, Yutong Wu from the Surrey Knights at 3:58.45. That was the best time for him, as was Lauren Wigington, lane number 8. He was 4th in the 200 IM at 2:04.0, and he took 3 seconds off his entry time here this morning, swimming at 4:00.16. Brown threw in 26.56, right where he was this morning. The most experienced swimmer in the pool, though, is lane number 5, Jeremy Bagshaw. And Bagshaw representing Ireland swimming in med school currently in Ireland. Back to try and qualify for the Worlds or the Commonwealth Games. He's out in front in 55.28, 7/100ths of a second ahead of Brown. Looking good is Sebastian Paulins in lane number 3, up with the race leaders. Paulins from Brantford, he was 3:54.35 this morning. And Brown now taking a lead by only a few 100ths of a second. Paulins is up there and fighting. He won a 2-second personal best. Brown looking very good, though. He has gone by Bagshaw. He's taking Paulins with him here as they come to the 200. Bagshaw doesn't see him on the inside. No, and it is Bagshaw. Look at this, by 3/100ths of a second. You got a seesaw battle going back and forth in 4 and 5 between Bagshaw and Brown. Bagshaw with the slight lead. Both of these swimmers faster than they were this morning, but keep your eye on Paulins. Paulins up with the race leaders and looking very strong in lane number 3. Look at this, 4 swimmers. It's actually 5 swimmers within 0.5 of a second, including that junior age swimmer, Yutong Wu in lane number 6, who had the fastest 50 on that leg at 29.5. We're going to see if the youngster can hold on as they come to the 300-meter mark. Brown, Bagshaw, Paulins, Wu sitting just outside that. Axon now moving in lane number 2. Into second, Eric Brown at 2:54.0. A few tenths of a second faster, but don't count out Bagshaw in lane number 5. If anybody's got the know-how on how to come back on the back end, it's going to be Bagshaw, but Axon in 2 is out there. Brown in lane number 4 is right there with them as they come to the last wall. It is Axon. Axon with 0.3 of a second up on Brown. Bagshaw sitting back in 3rd. Paulins dropping to 4th. Let's see who's got the finishing kick on this one. And look at this out of Bagshaw in 5. He's gone by Brown. He's challenging Axon. Just 10 meters left to go, and they're going stroke for the finish. At the touch it is. Bagshaw by 6/100ths of a second, 3:52.01. Ahead of Alex Axon at 3:52.07. 3rd goes to Brown at 3:52.70 in lane number 4. And look at this, 2 of these juniors under 4 minutes, including Yutong Wu, ending up 5th and a 3:54.81.
For our official, what a race in the men's 400 free. Give these gentlemen a round of applause. Fantastic race in that 400 free final.
Les résultats sont officiels, c'est Jeremy Blanchard avec le temps 3:52 qui est dans le 400 livres masculin.
That one, Sarah, and all sorts of back and forth between the race leaders. It's really exciting to watch.
Summer Swiss ready for.
And exciting and very close that race was.
And with so many spots on the line, World Championships, Commonwealth Games, and importantly for the youngsters, the Junior Pan Pacifics, we've got all sorts to cheer about. I'm really impressed by some of the doubles going on here tonight. I like Lauren Wigington with the 4th place in the 200 IM with a huge best time at 2:04.0, and then under 4 minutes. It's a 5-second drop for him, down to 3:58 tonight. Finishing 6th here in the men's 400 freestyle, a future of men's swimming.
We'll grab the word with our winner here tonight, Jeremy Bagshaw of Island Swimming, 3:52.01. Jeremy, what a race in that 400 freestyle, right down to the final stroke.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, especially seeing all these young guys, seeing next generation of 400 freestylers come up, so it's fun to race them.
Now, I actually would like to be a little bit faster here tonight, but you'll take the national championship title, another one to add to your collection.
Yeah, I'll take the time for now, get ready for the 200 in a couple of days, to be the main focus.
And to come back here to the pool, you spent so many hours training. That black line is probably pretty familiar to you in that lane 4 here at SCP.
Oh yeah, this pool is over 20 years training here, so it's a lot of memories here. It's nice.
Well, congratulations, Jerry. We'll look for you later on the weekend at 200. Congratulations on your win in the 400 here tonight.
This is the 3rd heat of the men's 400-meter freestyle. This is all of our other junior age swimmers. Dagenet at 27:40, out better than he was this morning. Lane number 2, so Wang still out in front. 56:78 is the split time for him. 0.7 of a second better than he was this morning. These juniors, motivated by what they saw in that A final, have really decided to try and get up and go because they know they've got to get underneath 4 minutes for any chance of being considered in this 400-meter freestyle for the junior team. And Wang still with the lead, but Anton Sauvé in lane number 1 starting to close that gap. He's only a little bit less than 0.2 of a second back swimming in lane number 1. Sauvé this morning a 4:06.58. This is about a second over his best time, but right now he's having a great race with the leader. And lane number 2, Wang starting to move up in lane number 5 now. That's Quinn Mattias from Windsor Aquatic Club. And Mattias this morning was a 4:03.24. That was a 4-second personal best for him. He's moved into second behind Wang at 1:59.47 and 1:59.56 for your 2 race leaders. A little bit ahead of where they were this morning. Looks like these guys are playing a pretty patient game here as we turn on to the back half of this race, and it's going to be a quick swim out of Mattias in lane number 5. No, it's Dagenet with a great 50 there, moving into first, splitting 2:30.53, 4/100ths of a second ahead of Mattias.
You can see the swimmers are still very much in control, very relaxed. The stroke rate, not that fast, but they're going to pick it up without a doubt in the last 100. So it's still, there are 5 swimmers who could potentially finish first depending on how they go in the last 100.
It's where you want to be, Sarah. Just like you were talking earlier in the girls' race, you need to very careful where you time out that finishing kick. Too early, and that piano is going to come crushing down onto you at the end of the race, and too late, and you're going to be out of it. So we'll see what we've got here, and then we do have a good race developing in the middle of the pool between Cam O's, Dagenet, and Mattias from the Windsor Aquatic Club, swimming stroke for stroke as they come to that very last wall. It's going to be who comes off and has a great underwater and a very strong kick to gain some momentum on this last 50. And it looks like Dagenet in lane number 4 is having a great last 100 in this race. Dagenet and Mattias. Dagenet looks like he's timed out that finishing kick pretty darn good, but Mattias in lane number 5 not giving up. Dagenet with a slight advantage, but here comes Mattias at the touch. It's anyone's game, and it is by 7/100ths of a second. Look at that. Quinn Mattias from the Windsor Aquatic Club, 2.5 seconds faster than he was this morning, and that is a 7-second drop on the day for his personal best. that is a wrap, Sarah, on the first night of finals here at the 2022 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. First off, the first national championship meet of this sort of level in 3 years. I was super excited to see all of the swims from everybody, but what impressed you the most?
I think I can't wrap up this evening without talking about Summer McIntosh. It was just incredible to be in such control and so incredibly fast at only 15 years old. I'm mind blown.
As were a lot of people. 11th fastest swimmer of all time in the world. 15-year-old Summer McIntosh, absolutely fantastic. And we did have 3 Canadian records today. We had Summer's 400-meter freestyle. We can't forget about Finley Knox and that 1:57.50, the 4th fastest time in the world so far this year. And then also from this morning in the 100-meter breaststroke.
Nick Bennett in the 100 breaststroke SB14, who had absolutely an incredible swim as well this morning. So I think a lot of very fast racing on the first day already. So I think it will only get even better, because tonight some swimmers are just trying to find their pace and the feel for the water. So they started extremely strong, and they'll without a doubt finish even.
And plenty of great swims out of those junior age swimmers as well. Really impressed with a lot of those performances. They'll be in contention for selection later on this week as we get towards the Junior Pan Pacifics. And remember, we've got 4 teams that are in consideration: the World Championships, the Para World Championships, the Commonwealth Games, which is a combined team, as well as the Junior Pan Pacific. So plenty of excitement still to come. But it's come to us, Sarah. Who are we picking for the Bell Swim of the Day?
I mean, I think we can all agree that Summer was absolutely phenomenal.
I don't think you'll have anybody disagreeing with you. A lot of great swims all over the place, a lot of personal bests and fantastic swims. Look at 30-year-old Jeremy Bagshaw winning the 400-meter freestyle. That is amazing. But the Bell Swim of the Day, absolutely right. It goes to Summer McIntosh for a Canadian record in the women's 400-meter freestyle. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight. This is going to wrap up the first night of finals here at the 2022 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. I'm Jason Pratt with Sarah Maillot. We will see you back here again same time tomorrow for day number 2 at the Bell Canadian Swimming Trials.
The 2022 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials is brought to you by... Les essais canadiens de natation Bell 2022 vous sont présentés par... The Government of Canada. Le gouvernement du Canada. Speedo, your trusted swim partner from your first splash through every stroke. Speedo, votre partenaire de natation de confiance, de votre premier saut dans l'eau à chaque traction. All Tides, proud to support Canadian swimming. All Tides, fier de soutenir la natation canadienne. Marriott Bonvoy, 30 hotel brands, endless experiences, official hotel sponsor of Swimming Canada. Marriott Bonvoy, 30 marques d'hôtels, d'innombrables expériences, commanditaire officiel de Natation Canada.